Soul Garden. Live, love, be.
From my smartphone to yours, I'm Caston Love from the Series Joy Garden Studios in Costa Mesa, California. And it's Friday. Thank God it's Friday. Good morning and Namaste, and welcome to Namaste Today. I'm your host and spiritual life coach, Christopher Witecki. My modality is psychic astrology, and my personal mission is to stand in my heart and help unite the light. This webisode is for Friday, March 11th, 2016, thank God. And today, the Great Human Walk has reached step 21, Pisces. Now, you know what I like to say? Step 21 is when it starts to get fun, and that is true. We are in the spiritual Pisces transit. For those who are just joining us, thank you so much, and please thank the person that referred you. We're in the Pisces consciousness, which is the highest spiritual vibration on Earth. And this week, we experienced a total solar eclipse on Tuesday. Now, just as a little note, wow, that eclipse really hit me. I actually went down completely Tuesday night and all day Wednesday. I slept the entire day. Had to move my readings up a week because I couldn't hack it there. So if you got moved, I'm so sorry, but I was of no use to you. And I went down for 24. It was just all the nasal thing finally climaxed, but I think I just needed to sleep and connect to my gentle spirit. So this week, it was a forced compassion. In my case, the compassion was I was working too hard, my body was too tired, and so you might have had a minor breakdown with this forced compassion. As we move into the weekend, however, I argue that now that there's healing, there's opportunity for spiritual miracles and breakthrough over the weekend. But before we talk about that, I want to do a shout out to a fellow light walker and astrologer, someone that I had the pleasure of going out to her ranch and interviewing her in January. Her name is Crystal Lynn, and she calls herself the Cowgirl Astrologer. She's available at cowgirlastrologer.com, and one of her cool specialties is that she really understands animals and astrology. And I know a lot of my viewers out there have a love affair with 1, 2, 3, or 4 animals. So I think Crystal Lynn is really awesome at helping you get to know your animal astrologically and seeing how the animal lines up. Check out my On the DL with Crystal Lynn that is released this weekend, and you can find that in the Psychic Lounge on my personal website at soulgarden.tv. So let's move on to today's vibe. Today's vibe is sunny and productive today, in my opinion. I think we're going to be doing a lot of manifesting. That's due to the moon in Taurus. But first, my heart today is opening up to spirit, new compassion, new forgiveness, almost like a spring. So I think today there's a spring feeling, there's a healing feeling, and today might be the first day you actually begin to feel the healing, even though we got the blast of healing on Tuesday. So it took a while to work through. What I'm feeling is irritated for the first half of the day, but then calm later. That's because the moon is in Aries, then moves into Taurus. So we're going to be basically impatient, irritated, maybe a little agitated, and then all of a sudden when the moon moves into Taurus, you'll just feel this because when Pisces and Taurus energies together on Earth are really wonderful. It just feels very lullaby. What I'm open to today is the highest good that's possible. I am might be tested on what this is. Sorry about that. Venus is at step 29 Aquarius. So we're opening up to the highest good, the highest vibration, the highest. We might be trying to squeeze through between a rock and a hard place, to get somewhere or to make ourselves be able to be somewhere. This is about where we belong. So we might be having to raise our hand really, really high in class to be seen or be heard today with Venus at 29. I'm thinking about manifesting a new spiritual platform. Mercury's at step 10 Pisces. And this means a new level of inner peace. This is a new level of inner forgiveness. This is a new level of no longer sacrificing myself for others. I am feeling the new adventure today. Mars is at step 2 Sagittarius, and so there's a lot of aggro energy that's pushing the excitement of the story changing. So there's a little extra drama music playing today in the universe, even though there may not be drama. And lastly, I am deciding today what beliefs work smoothly, what beliefs align with spirit, and what beliefs do not. And when I say beliefs, I mean that I'm coming up with a new philosophy since I've been alive. This is my most recent evidence of what works and what doesn't work, and this is the bleeding cutting edge of what belief can be. And so it is. So your joy quest, should you choose to accept it, is to open up today to unlimited possibilities. Open up to unlimited possibilities. Give God a chance to write your story. Okay? And in essence, this is the beginning of Act 3 of Sun in Pisces. So truly, wherever there are miracles, they happen from step 21 on. So spiritual miracles tend to happen in these very high degrees. A lot of miracles will happen. We'll be talking about angels and miracles in the next coming week as we wrap up Pisces. And you have to open yourself up for unlimited possibilities. You can't shut down in judgment what you think won't work. Like, there's no way I'll make the rent. There's no way this will happen. There's no way that'll happen. When you say that, the universe says, and so it is. So this is a time, especially in Pisces, especially with us crossing Chiron today for the second day in a row, to open up to unlimited possibilities, to open your heart up, to go ahead and surrender to hope once again, maybe not a given politician, but hope in your heart, and give the universe a chance to serve you a miracle. All right, let's move on to today's topic. Today's topic is spiritual re-evolution, raising the vibration. Now, this topic is something to think about through the weekend because I'm predicting that there will be spiritual breakthrough through the weekend. This will be most likely the most minor breakdown, very, very little kind of fraction or a scratch or something that just startles you perhaps, because I really think the solar eclipse cleared out all the lower vibration of Pisces. We are left with the highest vibration. That said, we are moving into our spiritual re-evolution, and this is a topic I've thought about quite a bit in my life. In fact, really, it's kind of what I base my life on. It may not be so obvious, so I'm going to share with you today. But this idea of connecting the highest spirit to all the way to our feet on the ground. This is, in past lives, known as enlightenment, and I think every human being is capable of enlightenment. It's a technique. It's not necessarily something you are awarded after many lifetimes. It's actually an ability to step into it in the moment, enlightenment. And I think it goes away just as fast, by the way. But first, why don't I pose the 5 o'clock question to kind of kick off this idea into your mind, and here it is. Do you sense that this is your last lifetime on Earth? Do you sense that this is your last lifetime on Earth? And the follow-up, what quality of your life makes you think that? What quality of your life makes you think that? Okay, so do you sense this is your last lifetime on Earth? No, I know it's not my last lifetime on Earth. I always joke about that. I always joke that I'm going to come back as an alcoholic Pisces and just observe for a whole lifetime of my work. I want to be able to come and see who this Witeki guy was after I'm dead. That's just my Leo rising. But I do know I'm going to come back to see my work, how it helps, how it affects generations. I'm very curious about that. So have no interest in leaving right away. What quality of my life makes me think that? Well, many qualities, but mostly that I understand, I think, spiritual enlightenment, and I'm not there. Okay, like I'm not there. I know I have a lot of issues. I was going to say flaw, but I'm going to be more compassionate to myself. A lot of things I'm working on. I'm working on a lot of things in here. There's a lot of rebuild, remodel, so I'm not yet content with with completely satisfied is the word with the Earth experience, and I fully intend on coming back. Now, the reason why I pose that to you is because I have a lot of clients, with all due respect, who will start off a reading and tell me, this is my last lifetime. This is my last lifetime, they say. I'm not coming back. Now, I got to tell you, 8 out of 10 times when they say that, they are. Okay? Because one of the things I've definitely noticed is if you think you're not coming back, then you are at peace and you are in a state of enlightenment in this life. If you are suffering in this life, this isn't your last life. You're still suffering. And a lot of light walkers are giving, but they're still suffering, so you don't graduate. You think Creator Universe is like, oh yeah, it's so good you're nice to people, but you whipped yourself your whole life, so sorry. Try again. I wouldn't treat you that way, says Creator. right? But you treated yourself that way. So the truth is even the light walkers, I mean, all the light walkers I find who are really seeking to graduate Earth and ascend, which I think is a fair thing. I just want to put it in perspective for everyone. I think that there's some qualities you should consider as to whether or not you are enlightened. And here's some simple qualities. Quality number one regarding enlightenment. Compassion is not self-compassion. Compassion is not self-compassion. Most of the people that I teach and I consult are actually leaders also, light walkers and leaders, all with the vision for their own spiritual future, and I'm here to support them so that they can support their followers. And with these light walkers and people who do great things, I find they are extremely compassionate people, but they are not compassionate to themselves. And so people confuse being compassionate with being self-compassionate. But my whole speech is always that, what is Gandhi having to do on the railroad tracks when the train is coming? He's having to be self-compassionate. He's got to stay calm, accept himself, not judge, not worry. It's extremely strenuous. Is he sitting there having compassion for his friends that are also on the railroad track? He can't. All right, Mother Teresa, who might go and who Master Virgo, she, honestly, if you guys have shook hands with 20 people, you're tired. Here's a woman that goes and held sick babies and hugged sick people her whole day, all day long. Amma, another light walker, hugs people all day long. This is extreme spiritual energy. Where do you think the light walker's focus is? On themselves. You have to stay connected to God. You have to be able to have present energy. You have to channel. The focus is on you. It's not on the outer. So you may learn compassion for the world, but you might have learned compassion for yourself. Quality number two, any judgment and any regrets disqualifies you immediately for enlightenment. Okay? Any judgment and any regret disqualifies you for enlightenment. You cannot, by the architecture of incarnation, go higher if you're holding on to something lower, period. It is a mechanics thing, all right? Step three, or quality three, your first customer when you're in the high degrees of spirituality is God, not the people. So I think in enlightenment, we all each get our own, we all return to God, really. We finally reach a level where we can talk to God on our own. And at this point, creators like, oh my God, creators like, oh my me, right? Like, I can't believe, I'm so excited that you wake it up, Christopher, and let's do some cool stuff. And that's basically what I think happens. So if you think this is your last lifetime, then I'm so curious what you and God are going to up to, and let's trade notes. Because I'm so excited too. Is this my last lifetime? No. But I think you can start with God long before that if you choose to. It's all about what our heart puts our time into. It's like Mercury retrograde up here. Wow, I feel like Ronnie Dangerfield. Okay, point number four. To be enlightened, you must maintain self-love, actualized enlightenment in the moment. So to be enlightened, you must maintain self-love, actualized enlightenment. Self-love actualized means that you feel amazing by yourself, talking to Creator and pulling in the energy yourself. A light worker, I think, works with a light walker walks in the light. There's subtle differences there. But to carry the light, to bring it in despite the darks and the trumps and the this and the that, to hold the light, right, is a trick. It is a trick. Not everyone can do this, right? Like, it is a special trick to stay in your heart no matter what the circumstances are. And it's a trick you must have. So self-actualized enlightenment there. Point number 5. I believe to be enlightened, you must be a successful man, a successful woman, a successful man, and a successful woman again. And I think that is the in and out of the spiritual DNA. So if you don't have past life memory of being a great man or being a great woman or have feeling achieved in that, I wouldn't necessarily say this is your last life either. Now, to bring all this up, because I think to some degree as sensei, I'm here to kind of put out what I can see spiritually. And what I see spiritually is I have a lot of clients who are ready to do their final healing and reach enlightenment. I have many clients who are ready for personal enlightenment. And I think many of the Chiron Pisces clients are right now. And this means that you are future spiritual leaders if you decide to go further on this path. It's a choice that you live by yourself, and we'll go over some of the qualities next week I think are involved. But considering there is a spiritual breakthrough over the weekend, for many people I think it will be a calling, and I think for many people it will be God calling them to kind of update on the latest. All right, let's wrap up today's show with the Zen Den. And welcome to the Zen Den. Let us take 3 breaths, my friend. And I don't know if you take 3 breaths with me usually, but during Pisces, you will find that you connect to spirit so much easier than any time of the year. So if you have doubts or uncertainty, this is the time to practice. We'll talk about this next week. Practice makes master. But this is the best time to practice connecting to your spirit. And you'll know it's your spirit because it'll be peaceful, it'll be calm, and there'll be no judgment wherever that space is. So let's take 3 breaths. Okay, and I'm extending a royal blue flame out and around so that we are protected together and filling you with love and golden light. Let us do a little affirmation for the day. I feel my truth today and follow my heart. I feel my truth today and follow my heart. That is step 21, where it starts to get fun. The 2 is I feel, the 1 is I love. So in that order, you listen to your feelings, you listen to what you love, and what happens is step 3, I believe, a new belief opens up. And for those of you who are trying to guess, Creator and I, it's Creator, I think, giving me the planets today. What planet came up? It was actually Saturn. We're going to talk about that because it's time to decide what we believe in many ways, too, is the message that I got. But first, let's take a look at the overhead projector. Okay, so first of all, we're at step 21 where it starts to get fun, and that is also the same placement of Chiron. Chiron moved from 20 to 21 as the sun danced into this. So this is a magical kind of symphony and ballet going on in that sense. This means that we are officially healing every time the sun crosses Chiron. Every year, once a year, we all heal. We all heal, we let go, we release. And as Chiron gets higher and higher, our potential to get higher and closer to spirit goes higher and higher too. So you could say that the human walk is now at the 21st step of moving into spiritual enlightenment. This is the highest we've ever been since Atlantis, or the last time, 26,000 years ago anyways. And we are healed now up to step 21. Step 21 is the bridge, the final bridge, and we see what's on the other side in step 22. So over the weekend, although Chiron won't be going to step 22 just yet, your heart will for one day, tomorrow, Saturday. Tomorrow will be step 22, Saturday is 22, and Sunday is 23, okay? So what this means is, today you cross a bridge and open your heart and go to the other side, or allow yourself to by self-nurturing. Tomorrow, step 22, is the potential spiritual miracle day, where your feelings will bounce off of other feelings inside of yourself, or your feelings will bounce off of somebody else's feelings, and both parties find themselves belonging somewhere, or feeling like they don't belong. That's the breakdown breakthrough. That's basically the architecture of it. It's like you're feeling something, and it's like, oh, and you're feeling something, it's like, yeah, one of those two. It's like, that's the breakdown breakthrough. It's okay, though. The point is then by Sunday, step 23 rules, which means we finally get our mastermind around our whole spiritual position. So this is really kind of the touchdown weekend, if you will. The real important game spiritually that kind of determines where people are going from this point forward on the spiritual path. Now the moon today begins in Aries, but then ends in Taurus. So that's why we're going to have a very aggressive day. There's a lot of sweating it out, wondering if you can make it to the final line, make it to the final, touchdown today on Friday. And that's just typical high degrees of Aries. Everyone feels that way. Then a moon moves into Taurus. You might get nitpicky about materials. but then it's pretty much a cozy weekend. Taurus and Pisces energy are so cozy together. I think everyone's just going to be like, ah. And really that means that our spiritual breakthroughs will be light and delicate. So as I mentioned, I believe that Spirit was pointing me to Saturn today. Saturn's at step 16, which adds to a 7. And Saturn is where we decide. I decide. So we're currently deciding the 16th step of belief structure. And the 16th step of belief structure is to get to a point where you're loving the consciousness and the consciousness is flowing back and forth very easily. So this means that we're eliminating self-limited beliefs. We're getting rid of things that get in the way, like, well, who says you can't be a girl? Well, who says you can't be this? Or who says you can't be that? So there's a lot of getting rid of self-limiting beliefs because they stop the flow of the 6. When you have something that you love and something that flows easily, then 7 is what opens up your spiritual sense. And that is what Spirit wanted you to know. That it's time to make some decisions about what's really working and what's not working. And remember that your beliefs are what are ideas that are congruent with your heart. In a world of creation, belief is not based on fact outside of you. Belief is based on what your heart believes you are creating, and therefore. And it's about being courageous and aligned to one's heart. Now, I want to point out something very groovy to you before I let you go for the weekend, and that is what I'm calling the Rainbow Bridge. The Rainbow Bridge is from Chiron at step 21, Pisces, okay, down across to the North Node in Virgo at step 21, Virgo, okay? And this to me is the Rainbow Bridge because this is basically the bridge you have to cross. The bridge is that by being compassionate and surrendering in this part of your life, the Pisces part, by allowing yourself to be compassionate by surrendering, and that's the truth, everybody has a Pisces in them, everyone has every sign in them, so your Pisces part comes out in different places, but it's there. So if you surrender to your Pisces part, then you open up your Virgo possibilities. And Virgo, Jupiter and Virgo in the North Node here, it's basically ready to construct any reality we want to construct. So I believe with Jupiter and Virgo, Bernie Sanders could have a re-evolution. I believe with Jupiter and Virgo, Donald Trump could be the president. Like, Jupiter and Virgo means we will change and can change reality. In your personal life, it means you can too. You've got to cross the Rainbow Bridge, which means you have to surrender, forgive and forget, let all that stuff go, lighten your load, and see what opens up as a result. Okay, great message for the weekend. I'm recovering from literally going down for 2 days, but I'm feeling much better and much lighter. I kind of predicted all that. I do want to point out that today, if you're watched over by my personal Sensei network, your eye candy at 3 o'clock will be your Rainbow Bridge and what you have to cross personally. So I've outlined that already and programmed in the system. And I want to remind you that I'm having a reading sale. This will be the last of it for this weekend. I do tend to book fast, but if your heart is calling to connect to me and get a full-on reading, I think you should. It's $50 off the normal price. All right, my friends, I love you. I'm so grateful for you, and I'll see you on Monday with more. Until then, stay in your hearts and live, love, be.